Thank you so much for joining me. So we're going to go ahead and come up to the top of the mat, feet hip distance apart. Go ahead and release the arms down by the hips, roll the shoulders out a few times, balancing on the feet. So I'm taking a few breaths here, seeing where you're at right now. Nice deep breaths will have a very energizing flow. So find that deep, relaxed breath. Excellent. On the next inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms up, reach for the ceiling, and exhale, sit back into a chair pose. Inhale, stretch it back up. Exhale, swan dive into your forward fold, making sure the back feels great. Inhale, come half high, flat spine. Exhale, releasing it down, and inhale, sweeping it all the way up. Exhale back into that chair. We'll continue this flow. So inhale, stretch and reach, get tall. Exhale, releasing that forward, stretch through the backs of the legs, through the spine. Inhale to start engaging. Exhale to release it down. And again, inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale back into that chair, strengthen the legs and the abdominals. Inhale, reach. Exhale, swan diving it forward into that forward fold. Good. Inhale, coming half high. Exhale, place the hands down to the mat. Step the right foot back down the mat, finding high lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up. If high lunge doesn't feel good, release that knee down. Excellent. Find where you feel good here. If you want to flow, release the knee to the mat. Inhale to slowly straighten and strengthen the leg, lifting the knee up. Just continuing to flow up and down with the inhales and exhales here. Excellent. We'll release the hands down to the mat. And then we're going to come into a spinal twist. So right palm to the inside of that left foot, or you can have a block there for a little more lift and support. And then we'll step that back to downward facing dog here. Go ahead and sweep the left leg up towards the ceiling. If it feels good, we're going to come forward into a full or modified plank with the leg lifted. Excellent. This time, squeeze the knee up to the outside of the elbow if that feels good. And again, that can be in full or modified. And then we'll step the foot up, place it to the floor, and inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Excellent. Deep breath here. Exhale. Now another flow. Arms into field goal post arms and coming into a bend in the knee. On the inhales, arms are reaching up and we're straightening through that left knee. One more time. Excellent. Release the hands back down. Lift that back knee and we'll step it forward here. Take a moment, stretch through the backs of the legs. Inhale, sweep it all the way up to standing. Exhale, back down into that chair. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half high. Exhale, release the hands, and we'll go ahead and step again. This time opposite. The left leg back with the right leg forward into the high lunge. Again, you can release the knee if that feels better for you. If it feels good, go ahead and start to flow up and down with the breath. If at any point you need to pause the video and let the breath slow back down, absolutely do so. If you're feeling good, you can continue to flow. Go ahead and release the palms back down to the floor into that spinal twist. So left palm to the inside of the right foot or up onto your block. Reaching that right arm up and go ahead and exhale, release it down. We'll step back to that downward dog. And then inhale now the right leg up and back towards the ceiling and beginning that plank flow with the leg floating here. So again, you can release down to modified plank. This time knee comes to the outside of the elbow, reach it back into downward dog, and this time step it up between the hands. And from here, taking a high lunge, we'll sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to take that flow with the field goal post arms, knee coming and gently tapping the floor. On the inhales, that front leg is straightening and we're reaching for the ceiling. Excellent. One more time. And then release the hands to the mat. Lift that back knee and we'll step or walk that up to our forward fold. Take just a moment to work it out here. And now coming into our balance. So you can utilize blocks here if that feels best. From here, we're going to sweep the left leg up and back towards the back wall. Strengthen that leg. So flex the foot, frontal hip points are coming down towards the mat. If you're finding balance, hands can come up to heart center. Go ahead and release the fingertips down. And here we're going to open this up to the side. So we're going to roll the top hip up. Toes are going to point towards that side wall. And if it feels good, that upper arm, that left arm can reach for the ceiling. All right, and then we'll slowly go ahead and reverse, release that down. Take a moment, stretch it out, maybe stretch through the top of the foot or the ankle a little. And then we will reverse to the other side. So right leg up and back, flex the foot. Finding your balance. If you're feeling very balanced, hands can come to heart center. We'll release fingertips back to the floor. If it feels good, right arm can come up to the hip or perhaps reaching up to the ceiling as hips are opening to that right side wall. And on your next exhale, slowly reverse, release that back down. Stretch out those legs, and then we are going to come into a chair pose from here. So drop the hips back, engage the core as you lift the torso up. Perfect. Inhale, strengthen the legs, press it up. Exhale, release those arms down. Inhale, reach it back up. Exhale, back into that chair pose once again. Good. On your next exhale, release the palms down to the mat, coming into a forward fold. We'll step walk or hop those feet back to plank and then back to downward dog. From here, we're going to create a flow. So we're going to take either full or modified plank. So take a moment to see where you feel best. You can support the wrists by taking stacked fists underneath the shoulders if that feels best. If a flow doesn't feel good, you can hang out in downward dog or in full plank or modified plank. From here, we're going to lift the foot from the floor, tapping it onto the opposite ankle. And we're just going to keep alternating one tap and then opposite, tapping it over. So a little more core strength to try to stabilize here. We'll release the knees down and we're going to go ahead and release it all the way to the floor. Don't mind my dog there. And releasing the arms down to the mat, rest those wrists, maybe roll them around, maybe rock the hips, whatever it takes to get comfortable on the floor here. And then from here, we're going to come into our locus pose. So we're going to press the pelvis down into the mat, lift the feet, the legs, the chest, the shoulders, the head. Deep breaths here. And exhale, release it all the way back down. Go ahead and bring the big toes into touch. Let the heels drop wide, releasing tension deep into the hips. Perfect. On your next inhale, we're going to tuck hands underneath the shoulders. Use the strength of the arms to press back up to modified plank and then all the way back to child's pose. Resting here for a few moments, releasing any lingering tension in the low back and slowly rolling all the way up to seated onto the heels. From here, we're going to go ahead and come down to seated on the mat, extending bent legs in front of us here. So tucking hands right behind the backs of the thighs of the knees. Roll the shoulders back and down. So find a nice long spine coming into our boat pose. Find where you feel best. Hands can stay there for support. Legs can stay bent, or you can straighten legs and straighten arms. As long as you don't start to collapse through the chest. Excellent. Long spine. Go ahead and start to release, reversing back out. And then from here, we're going to take an inclined plank. So hands are coming back underneath the shoulders, pressing the hips up. This is a lot of pressure on the wrists. So you can always take stacked fists or just opt out of this pose today. Excellent. Come off of those wrists. Take a moment to stretch those. Inhale, reaching up high, and exhale, go ahead and fold forward over those legs. Seated forward fold here. Inhale, flattening the spine. Exhale, rounding, relaxing the spine forward. Inhale to lengthen the spine, bringing the lower rib cage perhaps a little bit more towards the tops of the thighs. Exhale, this time release it and just relax. So any stretching, moving that feels best to you here. Let gravity do the work here for just a moment. And then we'll slowly start to straighten all the way back up to seated. From here, we're going to go ahead and make our way down onto our back. So bent knees, we're going to hug those knees into the chest. Take a moment to maybe rock it side to side. Check in with that lower back. Make sure that it's feeling good here. Take a moment, stretch the arms out overhead. We're going to stretch just through the right side. So extend the right leg, stretch. Extend the left leg and stretch. And then from here, we're going to come into our final relaxation. So whether it's feet out wide with knees knocking against each other gently, or if it's feet out to the corners of the mat with body extended. Hands can go ahead and extend out alongside the hips. If you have an eye pillow or an eye mask, placing that over your eyes, let yourself get comfortable here. Relaxing your feet and ankles. Your feet and ankles are completely relaxed. Relaxing your legs, hips, and pelvis. Your legs, hips, and pelvis are completely relaxed. Relaxing your hands, wrists, and arms. Your hands, wrists, and arms are relaxed. Relaxing your spine, abdomen, and ribs. Your spine, abdomen, and ribs are relaxed. Relaxing your chest, shoulders. Your chest and shoulders are completely relaxed. And relaxing your face and jaw. Your face and jaw are completely relaxed. Slowly start to bring your awareness back. Perhaps rolling out the wrists, the ankles. Extend out long, stretch full body. Go ahead and hug those knees into the chest if the low back needs a little release. Whatever wiggling, moving feels good to you here. When you're ready, we'll roll to that right side, pausing and resting there for a few moments, a few breaths. And then when you're ready, you can start to press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Let the hands, the arms come down to rest on top of the legs. Taking a few breaths here. Exhale, letting go of any lingering tension. It always feels easier to relax after you really work the body. Exhales, holding on to that sense of peace and relaxation. Go ahead and connect those hands at heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.